Where you going?
To my job!
You have a job?
Why wouldn't I? I'm not some lazy, inconsiderate jerk who lays in bed all day.
Say, where can I get one of these jobs?
Oh, they're everywhere, especially if you're green and have 6 tentacles.
Thanks. I'm gonna go look for one so I can stop mooching off my friends and they can get back to their life.
Well, hello Riven mains and Yasuo mains alike. I'm the Nightwing, Way of Life Esports, coming at you guys with another League of Legends video. Our Spring Split LCS Week 5 thoughts and opinions. So we had some games this week that got a lot of people's attention, and we also had a lot of games where, you know, most of them were pretty much decided in around 20 minutes roughly. Actually, some of the games didn't really have like first bloods up until like 12 minutes in. We saw a lot of teams start to kind of branch away and pick and choose where they're actually going to start playing towards their strengths. I think a lot of the teams that we already knew that were actually going to be pretty decent started to actually look pretty decent. The first game was TSM versus 100 Thieves, and this game showed me that TSM is willing to actually play their own style, and their mid game is actually improving to a point where they're actually not doing mid game the way that TSM normally would do, where it's like, you know, Bjergsen side lane pushes, then the rest of the map kind of moves towards Dragon. They actually are starting to move as a more of a cohesive unit, and I think that that's why they took down 100 Thieves, because if 100 Thieves isn't really snowballing with like Someday, they don't really do anything, and it's more or less so a team, I think, with a roster of players that aren't really that great in terms of, you know, their actual mechanics outside of, you know, Meteos and Someday, but with players like TSM, they actually have really good laning, and once they fix the mid game perfectly, the way you know they're going to play it out, then they'll actually be a lot more better. And right now, they're in sole possession of 3rd place after the standings after this week, and TSM deserved this victory. Next game is Cloud9 versus CLG. Obviously, CLG is the worst team in the league still. I know Pobelter played really well this week, actually, and a lot of what he did is going to go actually, you know, wildly unnoticed. And I think that when you look at how Licorice has been playing, they actually said they weren't playing at their best this week, but they're actually still 10-0, undefeated in the LCS. And when I was watching Brain Check from Cloud9, there was this play where, you know, Blabber goes for that really good kick flash, and then Vulcan says afterwards, we probably shouldn't be engaging like that, and we probably shouldn't have took that fight even though we got that kick, and we probably should have played it a lot differently. There was some stupid idiot in the comment section where he was like, I don't like Vulcan after he said that. So how fucking disconnected are you from the real world, where I'm going to explain it to you guys, so if you don't actually understand, I'll explain it in a way where you're going to understand. So let's say if you're at work, right, and someone does something you don't like. Well, this is how people end up having problems, is that if you constantly brush it under the rug, you're not actually gonna get over it. Whether as if you actually brought it up to that person and go, hey, I don't like that, then you can fix that. That is a ground for fixing a problem, not being like, oh, Licorice, he didn't play badly. Licorice has been outstanding so far, but in the game, he makes one mistake. So when Blabber kick flashes Stixxay into their team and it's over, Licorice takes his set ultimate and ults MF away from the team. And Vulcan, rightfully so, says, hey, you shouldn't do that. I mean, he's not wrong, and you should be able to call stuff out. It's like playing solo queue, and your stupid as fuck jungler is like over here griefing, inting hard as shit, and I'm supposed to just sit there and say absolutely nothing to you and let you int my lane. Oh, hell no. I'm gonna tell you what I don't like, and if you don't like it, you can either get the fuck out of the game, or you can sit here and we can win this game. This is the thing, and this is the problem people have in their lives, is that you gotta be able to articulate your point in a way that, this is where, you know, this is the best thing I've ever heard for this, is like, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And he didn't say anything wrong. He said, hey, I don't like that. Don't do that. How's that a problem? Just explain to me how that's a problem. I don't like something you're doing wrong, and I'm telling you I don't like it, and most average stupid people are going to go, he's just picking on me, he's being mean. No, they're actually trying to help you, and that's why I also like Cloud9 too, because they're able to have these talks in their environment and it not be a bad thing. So next week, obviously, we're going to see it a lot better. They've looked like the best team in the LCS. They're still the best team in the LCS. So at this point, with them being 10-0, I think that you might as well just finish the split 18-0, because that will be in the history books as they'll be, the first undefeated LCS teams. But I'm still going to say to you guys, I don't believe they're the best undefeated team we'll ever have, because TSM summer 2016 did it almost in best of threes where they went 17-1. Immortals is one you can kind of compare it on because they had a really weak league, and this one is also probably even worse than that 2016 spring LCS league. So it's just a mixture of who you like better, actually. But I wouldn't say judge it off who you like. I'd say judge it off, gameplay and mechanics and players on the roster and what they had to overcome and a bunch of other things. Were they that dominant? And there's just a lot of other things you have to keep in mind when you're looking at grading teams, like in terms of performance of all time. But at the end of the day, Cloud9 do pretty much stomp CLG. They weren't really doing anything in the game. It was just that Blabber kick, was really highly received by a lot of people. That they said they liked it and it was really good play. But then people were talking about the Vulcan thing, and he literally said something he didn't like and told somebody something he didn't like. He didn't say anything where he said, hey, guys, we shouldn't be engaging like that. Like, what do you mean? He's a support of the team. He's playing the best almost on the team, if you actually think about it. And the team is not doing well because of Blabber. And I don't know what delusion people believe in their brains, or like to the point where you would rather believe delusion than actually look at reality. And they're not winning because of Blabber in a way that you're probably thinking. They're winning on their own. Blabber is more of a facilitator jungler, which is what I think he is playing the best role at right now. Because if we're talking about better junglers than Blabber, Closer, Santorin, Dardoch, those are already three names I've given you, and they're not even on the best team so far. That's what I'm saying. But yes, Cloud9 do come away with the win against CLG. And then you have Dig versus Immortals. And this is the reason why I said to you guys that Dig is not Dig. Sorry. This is why I said that Immortals is not a top 2 team. Because this week proved they are not a top 2 team. Dignitas pretty much crushed them. They don't really do anything. The drafts are not the problem. They're just not a good team. And, when they play up against a team like Dignitas, it's more or less so a stylistic mismatch than anything, but you see why they're not so good. Dig easily stopped them. FlyQuest versus Golden Guardians. Golden Guardians were putting up some pretty good wins in the past couple of weeks. People were getting a little bit more hyped on them, but, they also show why they're also not so good. FlyQuest out-macro them, out-lane them, and just basically do anything they can actually do. And this is where you get to the point where better laners do obviously have an advantage at some point. Sunday, you had Evil Geniuses taking on TL, and people still put TL to win against Evil Geniuses because Evil Geniuses look like a pretty uncoordinated mess, let's be honest here. I mean, but to be fair, this was their best game of the split, man. They really did dominate TL. I know they made some mid-game mistakes, but you can't cherry pick that. A lot of teams make mid-game mistakes. Nobody's perfect, and they do beat TL. And then Cloud9 versus Immortals. I mean, last time Cloud9 faced Immortals, it was like playing with golds versus a bunch of like level 12s or a bunch of bots. And Cloud9 easily beat Immortals. There's really nothing here in this game that you ever probably thought Immortals were going to beat Cloud9. It's just not going to happen. You got 100 Thieves versus Golden Guardians. This match was a lot more closer than a lot of people might remember. But overall, I think 100 Thieves is still one of the weaker teams. I don't really care what people are saying about them. They don't look that good. They're literally 4-6. They're tied with TL, so they're not even really much better than TL in my own personal opinion, especially after what I saw on Monday. And I'm not really too sure where people are getting this, like, well, they're probably not doing so badly. What do you mean they're not doing so badly? Like, have you been watching these games? I feel like people don't actually watch the games and say stupid narratives that have been narratives for like 2 years ago. And then 100 Thieves obviously beat Golden Guardians. FlyQuest versus CLG. FlyQuest looking a lot more better and better. I think that they can beat teams that are worse than them, because before, a lot of their iterations didn't really have like caliber players, but this roster has caliber players like Power of Evil and Ignar. But I think if you look at Viper, he's been actually not doing so well. But top lane is impactful in a way that if he just doesn't really feed, they'll be okay. Alright, so, and on Monday Night League, I like Monday Night League. I don't really know why people don't like it. I personally like having games on Monday. You have TL versus Dig. The game was just pretty much non-stop fighting, and at a point, there was, TL just out-macroing them. I think that Jensen is in contention for best mid. I think that if you wanted to put him in an all-pro team, I think you could actually do that. I think he is one of the best mid laners on TL that is like, what, 6th place? I know people are going to say Niski, but, I'm being honest, and I'm not a fanboy, and I can be truly honest with myself and know that Jensen is still playing better than Niski. As you can clearly see from this game, Dignitas was pretty much just running it down, and they also show why they're an inconsistent mess who pay their top laners $2.3 million to get like 5th place in LCS. Real smart, right? Alright, so, and you have Team SM, Team Solo Mid versus Evil Geniuses. This game also proved why Evil Geniuses is just a bunch of evil. What's the word I use right there? This game proves that Evil Geniuses proves why they're just nothing but a bunch of evil, stupid idiots. Because they make a lot of mistakes that are not even just mid-game mistakes. They make a lot of mistakes that are literally just in the laning phase. While they make a lot of mistakes in the laning phase, they are really not that great in terms of synergy. TSM, they just have the better players, and they just win outright. That's pretty much what it is. One more TSM's better weeks, actually, and they actually finished 2-0. So, yeah, I'm really happy to see that FlyQuest is actually getting some wins. Power of Evil did win Player of the Week, so that's actually pretty good for them. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing, and Way of Life Esports is signing out. See you guys later. Bye.
Hi there, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.